French Bakery's got a new menu. Look at that. I've got little salmon. Oh, little salmon. Little fishes. Oh, with a salad.
Gary the vlogger.
With a coffee. With a Coke. And I got two of my favourite cookies. Beautiful. Oh, look, and there's a croissant there. That's not mine. That's not mine.
Lemonade.
Looks like a crab.
Yeah, there's a crab from South Wales. Abertawe.
It's from Swansea.
Swansea. Condominiums. Not about buying, but about renting. And they've been asking me what they should do when they pay the rent and their services get cut off, like their electricity, which means no electric, no AC, no internet, or their water is cancelled. So I was talking to somebody the other day, and this is advice I would give to you guys, if you're having problems with condominiums. Now, condominiums are built by a company A, for instance. I'm not going to point the finger at any condominium cup builders. Anyway, so the condominium is built, and then the condominium then turns around and hand it over to a management company. So the management company is B. Salamat kuya. And that's B. Now that management company will rent out the condominiums, okay? But they don't buy the condominiums. Somebody else buys them, Mr. C or Mrs. C, okay? So condominium is 500 properties, 500 boxes stacked up like Lego, and they come with gym, swimming pool, internet connection, and all that gobbledygook stuff. Maintenance, cleaners, gardeners, sanitizers, security, all of that, and that becomes part of the management contract, as in B. Now, the person who buys the condominium adds that value or that fee, around 2,000 pesos a month, to the rent of the property. Now, the person who is C, because you're no longer dealing with the builder unless you bought it from the builder off plan, which is what a lot of people do in C, in the C category, okay? So they turn around and they buy the property from A, the builder, off plan. Then when they've made all the payments, they've taken a loan to get the payment, a mortgage. And then the value of the condominium has a rental value. So there is the mortgage price from the person who is number C, or alphabet C, plus the management fee, which is B, equals X. And let's turn around and say it's 25,000. Now, the person that owns the property might not live in the local area. They might be an OFW, or they might be doing stuff in Manila, or they might be doing stuff in Cebu, or they might be doing stuff in Davao. But if you're renting that property and you're not renting in Davao, and the person lives in Manila, you are renting from the person in Manila the property in either Cebu or the surrounding area. So that person then doesn't want all the hassle. So what they do is they assign the property to an agent, and that agent will live locally. So all of a sudden you've gone from A, the person that built it, to C, B, the person that manages the condominium complex to see the person that's actually bought it from A, or they've actually bought it and they are renting it out through D, an agent. How complicated? Very. How profitable? Very, to certain people. Okay. Now, what a lot of people are actually asking me is, should they buy it off plan? Should they rent it? It's difficult. It's what you want to turn around and do. So, person one rents from a local condominium, 32 square meters, pays 35,000 peso a month for the rental on that. Includes Wi-Fi, includes electricity, includes water. However, been having problems with the internet. Very, very slow, because the person that's offering the condominium is buying the cheapest internet connection for the property. They're not paying 2,000 peso a month to get the best internet. They're paying 900 peso to get a little bit of internet. And the person that I know is struggling to get his internet and his messages and other stuff like that. Also, where he's renting the condominium from, it was 5 condominiums 3 years ago. Now it's 9, because they continue to build and build and build. And there are lots and lots of empty condominiums. So you've got building noise, pollution noise, wake up noise at 6 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, and it's not great. So he wants to move out. Well, he's given a deposit of 35,000 for each month, and there's 3 months deposit. So 100,000 goes as deposit. Now he's struggling to get that deposit back from the person who owns, person C, owns that condominium, but they don't live here. They live in Hong Kong. So how do you deal with somebody to get your money back when they don't want to give the money back because they're not interested? So do you take the hit and walk away from it, or do you go to the barangay captain, or do you go to the police? My recommendation would be you first go with your partner, if she's Filipina, to the barangay captain to raise the concern. Not to report anything, just raise the concern that you're moving on from this condominium because of X, Y, and Z, and the person you're applying to get the deposit back from is not talking to you. Because that's what they normally do. They don't talk to you. They don't acknowledge your messages. They don't acknowledge you're moving out. They're just going to expect that they're going to turn up in 3 months' time, and the keys are going to be left at reception, and you're not going to be there. That's their expectation. They're taking your money. Now, you can look at vloggers that have stayed in places like Martina Enclave. There's a guy there that turned around and booked in for 6 months, didn't like it because of all the building, wanted to move on, lost his $500 deposit. Yeah, lost his $500 deposit. Not peso, dollars. So he lost a lot of money on that transaction, because people that are trying to rent condominiums, that they're not going to find somebody overnight to move into that property. Remember that. They're not going to find anybody overnight. So either you turn around and you start process early with the local barangay captain, and you turn around and say you're not getting acknowledgement and you're not getting any feedback. The other thing is just stay in the apartment and burn off the deposit. Just stay there. Let the owner take you to court. They might switch off the electricity, they might switch off the water, they might switch off, but you've got a place to sleep. Not ideal, but anyway. Now, person number 2 is staying in a property, and they were staying on a short-term rent. They've just paid for a 2-year extension, and they pay by cheque. Okay, they don't pay by Gcash, they don't pay by cheque. And that person this week went down to speak to the management people at the condominium. Turned around and said, we can help you, but it's not really our problem because you're not renting from us. You're renting from somebody that owns that. It's a private agreement. Yeah, really. Oh, stinks, because you don't know who the private person is, which is number C, but management company B doesn't want to take responsibility, suggesting that somebody in management B owns that property and is renting it out. So the person that was renting it out, the first thing that happened, they signed a 2-year contract, and then the management company turned around and said, we've not received payment, because what you do here is you do a post-dated check. So management B is talking to the person that's renting it and saying, you've got to take responsibility. The person that's renting it out is taking responsibility and saying, well, it's not, I've given the money, you can't be cutting off my electricity and my AC and my internet and my water. Well, the management company think they can, but the management company are there to manage who is renting out the properties in the condominium unit. So again, I said to the guy that was asking me, I said, take your partner, go down to the barangay captain and ask for some advice. The second person that's actually talking to me, his partner is pregnant, so it's affecting her when they don't connect the AC and they don't connect the electricity and they don't connect the Wi-Fi, which is a bit of a mess. Me personally, I would not rent condominiums. That's me personally. Over the 8 to 9 years I've been here, nothing but problems renting. Go and get a private agreement from somebody that's renting an apartment. Okay, you don't get the swimming pool, great, but you're being charged 35,000 and I get charged 10. I save 25,000 peso a month. I'm not saying anything, because I can go to a local hotel and use their swimming pool for 750 peso, me and Annie. I can go to a resort and get a day thing and 350 and spend all day swimming. So do you need to pay overinflated money for a swimming pool because you want to be posh? No. Put your thinking cap on, guys. Yeah. They're trying to sell these condos. They're building these condos all over the place. They only rent out about 10% of the condominium, and they rent it high prices to pay for the people that are living, working there, and the management company. So don't be gullible. Some people get a great deal. Okay, and I'm not saying that. Some people get a great deal, but 9 times out of 10, there are lots of people I know, and they come to me and ask me what to do. If you're not getting the services and you're not getting what you're paying for, go to the barangay captain, and if that doesn't help, after 6-7 months, then go to the PMP and report to the police. There are family code laws here. There are laws to turn around and protect the Filipinos. If you're a Filipino and you've got a Philippine partner, or you're a foreigner and you've got a Philippine partner, get the Philippine partner to do the discussion, because it's affecting them directly. Whether it's your boyfriend, whether it's your girlfriend, whether it's your husband, it affects them. Get them to do the discussion with the barangay captain and with the PMB, not you, because you're just a moany foreigner. So it does become a bit of an issue. It does become a bit of an issue. but always try to deal with the person that directly. Don't turn around and go through an agent. Go to the condo management office and ask if they've got any rental agreement. Do the rental with them. You can't deal with A unless you're going to buy. A is the builder, and they'll sell it offline. The management company manages the condo unit, and it'll be, as I said, 2,000 peso a month. C is the person that's bought it and wants to make money because they don't live here and they're going to rent it to you. And it's up to them to make the payment. And if they don't want to make the payment, or they've spent your rent, or they've spent the money doing something else, then they'll just turn around and say, oh, we're not going to pay the money, the rent this month, or the electricity this month. It doesn't affect them because they're living in their little luxury life, aren't they? It affects the person that's living in that little box. So be careful. And if you go through an agent, which is number D, not all of them, and I've got to stress this, not all of them are honest. All they want to turn around and do is make the markup they're putting against the rent. It's the same if you're buying a house and you go to real estate. I've seen houses here that were on the market for 8 million. They're not sold. They're going to be a private seller. They're not sold. And it goes in the description, no agents, no second citizens or no second-hand agencies. And when they can't sell it, they'll go to an agent, and all of a sudden that 8 million peso house is now 12 million. So the agent has jacked it up 4 million for their fees. And they'll come up with loads and loads of reasons why there's a 4 million increase. One is they got to do the advertising. Two, they got to turn around and do the vetting. Three, they don't do any of that. They'll turn up. I've had people turn up to buy, friends of mine, turn up to buy a house, and they go, there's the house, can't get in because it's still got people living in there, and the people living in there don't know the house is for sale. They can't walk around, they can't see what the rooms are like, they can't see anything. Well, how good is that? That just says to me, dodgy. Yeah, that means somebody's going to evict those people and chuck them out because they don't know they're on borrowed time. There are laws in the Philippines that you have to follow. If you want to evict somebody for not making payments, you have to go to the court and it turns around and I think you get three strikes and then you're out. But if you're renting from an agent, the agent, I rent my property directly from the family and they've been great, absolutely great. Then I do it a different way. That's only me. Lots of people turn around and go A, B and B, or they do hotel reservations, they book in it, or they go to people local. So it is a minefield if you're renting. Understand, try to deal directly with the person, no agents. If you can, try to deal with the property management company direct if you can. But anyway, like, share, subscribe guys. Had a great meal today.